Okay. How we doing, everyone? I'm here, live in the digital flesh, which is cool. Um, if you haven't figured it out, a couple of weeks ago I uploaded a video with a very rough piece of writing um, in an effort to sort of show people, hey Herman, yeah, in an effort to sort of show people, that they don't need to be so shy about what they do. How are you, Herman? I haven't seen you around. Then again, I haven't been around. God, I hate YouTube live stream. I have no idea if this is working or not. What happens if I open the video? 1, 2, 3. Yeah, it's definitely working. Cool. Didn't realize this was still live. It just started, buddy. I've been doing this for like a minute. How you doing? So yeah. Firstly, thanks everyone who gave feedback and sort of helped me with this experiment. I wasn't expecting any, so it's always appreciated. I'm doing okay, Grant. All things considered, I am okay. Not dead yet. All right. Yeah. So I mean, let's get into it. So I wrote a piece a couple of weeks ago. I didn't look at it. I didn't reread it. I didn't do anything. I wrote it and then I read it live and put that on the internet for people to look at. I'm actually pretty happy with the piece. After reading it, there's some major problems with it, but nothing that can't be fixed. So yeah, and I mean, recently we've had some some people out there create a bit of drama around critique, and there's all these people saying all this sorts of BS like never respond to a review and things like that. And I mean, that stuff never made sense to me. Well, thank you, Herman. I appreciate that. I'm not on the Twitter/X, so I appreciate that. I really do. Well, so that's what I did, and today I'm gonna read the comments that were left live. I'm gonna react to them, and we'll go from there, and hopefully I can handle some critique. So I'm just gonna switch the screen over, and here we go. This is just the video. So yeah. Now, first comment in this list, however YouTube wanted to display it, was from Mike D'Souza 4040. He says, "Good to see you back, Mineya. Overall impressions, very powerful and effective descriptions. Immersive and convincing character in a dead-end job mulling through his days in mild despair." Yep, that's what it was. Definitely felt the emotions, the setting of this down-and-out character. It grabbed me from the started and kept me. That's good. That's so far so good. I had no trouble being there with the dishwasher. It was all very real. I might even wager you were a dishwasher in the past. No, not a dishwasher in the past. The emotion was convincing, and I sympathized and empathized with the guy. I mean, I have washed dishes at home. That's where I got those descriptions from, but never worked as a dishwasher or a busboy. Description, setting, main character, and emotional evocation, I think, are the strong points here. Perfect. That's what I was going for. This is definitely a character piece. It is all about this character navigating these things in his life. And this is just the start. This is just setting him up for what will eventually be the book. This is sort of, an introduction to him to set the tone. I have some of my own critique, which I will save to the very end of the video. And then we can do a little Q&A if there's time. We'll see. The areas that jarred me, I felt the boss was over the top being a jerk. For dishwasher who's reluctant to use his phone, getting yelled at, looking once, and injuring himself, felt like the boss wouldn't have many employees. Yeah, I feel that. A possible fix, make the boss more understanding and the dishwasher more negligent due to his depression. Maybe the dishwasher could be slow at his work, always late because he has 2 other menial jobs causing him to be late, tired and down, and then the boss has no choice but to let him go. Or the boss has to give his job to his nephew. This can enhance the victim of circumstance for the dishwasher, as opposed to the readers quickly identifying the problem as a mean boss. Yeah, I don't disagree. Part of this is, obviously, it's a first pass. And a first pass, you're just trying to get words on page and set up the tone for further refinement. So you're definitely right. It's a very short piece, and realistically it needs to be twice as long, or maybe even longer, to really set this up. But I was working with a time constraint in the fact that I wanted to get a piece out for the video, and I wanted it to end at a certain point. So I definitely glanced over those, and I agree with you. Some of the solutions here are pretty interesting. I like this, like adding in a little bit more about the menial jobs, possibly slow at his work, like really creating the work, like letting the work environment build up. And maybe, like, this is a great idea, making it so the boss isn't just a jerk, but maybe he's got to pick the lesser of 2 evils, which creates a victim complex for the main character, which would actually work for the story. So I do like that, and that sparked some ideas in my brain, so I appreciate that, Mike. Let's see what else you have to say. Other little bits. He hated him. Could have probably been omitted. Yeah, that was broke the show don't tell rule there. So yeah, that's true. The relationship is very clear and well done. Don't think you need to tell the readers that one. Hey Rachel, how are you? Splendid day. It's like 9 a.m. and it's already like over 100 degrees, so I'm fine. But thank you for stopping by. Hope you're doing well, and hope you get something positive out of this. If not, you just have a fun time. I haven't seen you around, so yeah, I don't know what happened there, but yeah, hit me up. Let me know what's going on. Yes, he hated him. Could have probably admitted, yeah, it's a show don't tell. Broke that rule, but hey, who am I if not a rule breaker? Their relationship is very clear. Well done. Don't think you need to tell readers that one jarring word for me was flesh. And he had his hand in the sink. Yeah, look, it's a bit of a gross word, and should be used in certain ways. It's a very powerful word when used correctly, in say a zombie horror, something like that. So yeah, I definitely feel that. It was a subliminal, subconscious, and a little tongue-in-cheek thing if you're familiar with a few other things that have happened in the past, but definitely could use a better word for that. Nice spongy wet skin. Yeah. I felt it was a bit strong. The dishwasher has a depressive energy about him, and to me flesh was a bit too lively when taken with the other words. Yeah, that's fair. And it does make sense to me. And while you're torturing this poor fellow, why not make it rain outside, or have him see the first snowflake when he sees his sister to hammer home the title? Yeah, I could see where that comes from. And this is one of those things that happens when you put out a piece of work and a title, and it's literally just like not even a full chapter. The title of the book, the intention for that for me is it's more like an analogy for the book. Got my Kickstarter fully funded. That's awesome. Working on rewards now. Getting a book tour going and writing a new story. Rachel, please hit me up. I believe you still have me on Discord, because I don't really understand crowdfunding and stuff, and I need to do it. And I would love to chat to you about that. Plus, I just haven't heard from you in a while. So, yeah, please do. And if you don't have it for whatever reason, just, I don't know, get in touch and we'll catch up, because that's awesome. I'm so glad your Kickstarter got funded. That's awesome for you. Yeah. Yeah, we all want to win, don't we? May I make it rain? Yeah, it could rain. It is winter. So you're right. I could set up the vibe a bit more. That'll help pad out the chapter and make it a little longer as well and feel more complete. So yeah, definitely all good critique. All in all, I can say it's far better than how first drafts nearly complete than my how first drafts nearly complete vignette or a first chapter had me daydreaming what would happen next. More pile-on. Was his father murdered by the mobs? It's not that serious. Maybe he was ostracized by his family to protect him from the mob. His father died. It's not that serious. It's not a crime book. But I love where your brain was going there. Not in this book, but now here there's a strange just have to uncover the truth of fun. I mean, that's a good way to go. Unfortunately, that's not the way I intended to go. So I might let you down with further chapters, etc. But I do like it. That's fun. Gives me ideas for other things. So yeah, that was Mike D'Souza's critique of the work. And I have nothing, I don't feel bad about that. It's all fair. It's all accurate. There's a lot to learn from there, guys, which is awesome. That's why we do this sort of thing. Nothing to be scared of there. And thank you again, Mike, for sending in the feedback. I do appreciate it. We have Gold Star King 68. So glad to see one of your videos after all this time. Last week got some crippling feedback on a novel I've been working on, and I quit writing for a whole week. That's no good, Gold Star. Don't quit. We all go through tough times. I'm going through some extremely tough times. But you know, writing is meant to be a positive outlet, even when you're writing things not so positive. And I really, really hope you get back on the horse, and let me know how you're getting on. Please give me an update. And now just picking myself off the floor, or at least you're getting off the floor. We all have our David Hasselhoff moments, and this video helped. I really like the story. It just swept me away into another man's life and the worst day he's probably ever had. Yeah, thank you. I'm glad it was effective, and I hope, and I'm glad that it hopefully influenced you in a positive way. And do let me know how you're getting on with the writing, Gold Star King. Momo_Gen X. Oh, sure thing. I support the frenzies. I'll search you up and send a DM now so I don't forget. Awesome. Awesome. I haven't got one yet, but it's... I don't even know my Discord username anymore. Copy, paste in chat. Oh, better not actually. I get enough hate. I'll figure it out. I'll find you. I watched Wedding Crashers the other night, so when I just said I find you, then I was just reminded of that scene. All right, next piece of critique, third one down. Momo_Gen X. I'd forgotten that I had subscribed to this channel. Yeah, that's fair. I don't upload that much these days. To be polite to a writer community that I found some common ground with, misfits and fellow cringe merchants, and recognize the name. I'm not familiar with the community, but I'm glad that you're still around. I like the piece. Good. That's a start. The part where the pieces of food touching his hands when he was washing the dishes was a good line. This is good. You can tell that it is an outlet that has a lot of subliminal symbolism in it. This feels like a frustrated person that can't stand the daily grind of work and life and wants a change. They are in for a big one when they find out their father is dead. Yes, they are. I like it. There is an ominous feeling underneath it all that drives the reader/listener to the end. Yet the end leads me to wonder about the rest of the story, hinting to a whole lot more going on. Mine's Mineya. So much that maybe life at work for this person was his escape. Whatever is going on here in the story, it is well done and a little spooky. I don't really do spooky, but I'm glad that it had an emotive effect on you. Looking at the other comment above, I agree with the use of bad words a little too much. It is a polished enough piece that sounds like it doesn't need too much editing. I actually disagree. I think it needs a lot of editing, but for what I've said before, it's too short, and I need to set the tone and build the characters more. That's how I feel. But if you're like me, you might want to spend 2 weeks trying to edit and perfect it. Yeah, I know. That's the problem, right? That's part of the reason why we did this. Part of the reason why I put this out there is to sort of show people, like, you don't have to be crazy about the editing. Like, you really don't have to, like, be crazy about it. You can get by with just like if you just write and worry about the editing once it's complete, it might be messy and you might have a lot of editing to do, but at the end of the day, if you're spending all your time editing, you may not ever actually get the work done, and that to me is not a good thing. Like, because we want to get our work completed, and if we're worried too much about the editing side of things, Rachel, I just sent you a friend request, then you know, we don't get our works completed. I think it's more important to get the story out there and then edit it in post than it is to try and get a perfect story out right away. It's never going to be perfect anyway, so it's kind of, in a way, it just holds you back. At least that's how I think to myself, to force myself to keep writing. Agree with the use of the bad words a little too much. Yeah, look, that's me slipping into the work too much. I have been and still am going through some rough times. And hey, John Stevenson, how are you? And so I'm literally just going over your critique right now. I recognize the avatar, but yeah, look, that was a little bit of my mood slipping into the work, and I can be pretty grim and pretty foul-mouthed, and that's what that was, and that definitely does need a fix in the next upcoming iterations. Something to think about. You get into the story at minute 3. When I was contemplating how to do a reading of a video, I thought, all right, a critique on how I do videos. I was on a local live in VA and I saw this when I got off. Oh, okay. Well, thanks for stopping by. Good timing. As for the critique on my videos, I have a style. It's just who I am. It's not going to work for everyone. I don't chase algorithms. I don't drama farm. I talk about things I think are interesting, and I do things in my own way. I don't like to be overly polished and perfected, because I feel like then I'm not giving an authentic me. And so I just do what I do. But I appreciate it anyway. Looking out, trying to help me succeed. And I'm not here to police other people. So I'm shocked, wondering what the ending means. Kind of like the ending means a new beginning with the father's death. But even then, it is a good beginning or a bad one. Very well done. Thank you. Yeah, look, it's an interesting story. It's a character piece. It's about this person going through authentic. It's about a guy going through some rough times and reconnecting with his past and things he was, you know, and obviously none of this is in the first chapter because that's the point, you're meant to learn this as you go on. But yeah, just reconnecting with his past and his family who hasn't seen in a long time. you know, through these grim events, and you know, whether they get out of it on top or not, well, you'll see it when it's written. But yeah, it's definitely going to be an emotional piece. Ruth has said, thanks, Mineya. Hard to put yourself out there, so I appreciate you doing this, and I appreciate you leaving a comment. It's your hero. Yeah, that's got nothing to do with any of this. Here we go, Herman. Herman. You're in the chat still, I think. So, let's go. My first ever book, written in the late 1990s, early 2000s, was a serious embarrassment, so I heartily disagree. Those were the good old days, weren't they, Herman? I thought it was a fairly strong piece, thank you. At least it starts that way, thank you. I think you're writing on the right track, thank you. You kept my attention to the end, good. So you've accomplished your first goal of any story. Yes, I have. I think you could focus a bit more on the monotony of the job before going into the part about being fired. I agree. World build a bit more. I'd also consider breaking the walk home out into its own chapter. Possibly, that's an option. I'd also consider adding a little more description to the kitchen. I agree. You tell you were excited about it when you uploaded it. It stuck with me, this story regardless. Awesome, thank you. Excited in a weird way, yeah. This was a emotional outlet for me, this piece. And it will continue to be one. So it's kind of weird to say I'm excited about something so negative for me, but it's not incorrect. Like, yeah, it was a relief getting it out there to help me cope with some things. And it's going to continue to be so as I write more. Focus on the monotony of the job. Yeah, as we sort of discussed in the other critiques, that's completely correct. It's a very short bit of writing, and there does need to be more world building, and there needs to be just more Lego bricks on top, without it being too convoluted. That's a balance I'm gonna have to try and find. But you're right. I'd kill the part about the towel. It doesn't add anything to the chapter that the discussing sink water doesn't already. You're right. It does pad it a little bit. That comes from real life experience working in veterinary clinics post-surgery, where like you're drying your hands on towels and using all these towels, and it's gross, but like, you know, you're also doing surgeries and people around you, and it's messy and there's blood and crusty bits everywhere, and you're drying yourself with a towel that's probably got more bacteria in it than anything else. I don't want to get into it, but yeah, that just comes from my personal experiences there, and I wanted to add it in. It might stay, it might go. We'll see on rewrites. Another thing about being fired, even if the manager is a hothead, you really have to be a screw up to get fired on the spot. Yeah, you do. I agree. It was kind of a cop-out in terms of let's just this is something a lot of people might understand, they might not, but this is something that I didn't understand when I first started writing many decades ago. Sometimes you just need to get the, how to say it, you just need to get the point out. Like, you want an event to happen, so you just need to write the event in, knowing that's not how you want it to go. Like, you could, for example, you need to, in this case, I needed him to get fired, so I just wrote him getting fired into the story. I haven't figured out the best way for that to happen and the most impactful way for it to happen. But if I just like got hung up on that, I wouldn't have completed the piece, because I would be like, oh, I can't do this, I suck, or letting all these negative sort of things into my head. And a lot of people do that. They get caught up on a little element. In some of my other books that are Avengers Assemble, in some of my other books that I'm like 5, 6, 7, 8 chapters into writing, there are entire sections where I just have in sort of brackets like an emotional conversation needs to happen here that results in this event happening. Like, and I do that because I haven't figured out the best way to implement that yet. But I don't want to get hung up on it, because if I do, I won't write the story. Yeah, it's pretty gross, John. It is pretty gross. Um, but yeah, so sometimes you just kind of have to write, even in the most basic form, or just put a note in and keep going. You know, kind of you just have to sort of step over, um, and just do it, if that makes sense. Like, hey, I know this part sucks. I'll fix it later. But I just need to get it in so I can keep writing the bits that I can write. And that's the good thing about writing these drafts, and knowing that it's incomplete, and having confidence in your ability to fix things, I guess. Um, and not allowing yourself to get caught up in your own negativity, or at least that's how I do it anyway. Everyone's probably different, but that's me. Um, yeah. He used to call the office and like, go MC wasn't that much of a screw up or slacker, so I just up. Yeah, yeah, 100% right. I would not use the word vibrations. I would just mention that he felt the phone buzz 3 times. Yeah, true. That and would be that and the would be messaging me at this hour. Will connect the dots with the reader. Yeah, yeah, you're correct. You're right. That's a little bit more of the whole show don't tell thing, which I need to work on better. So yeah, 100% correct there. Perfect. I would scale back the cursing, dropping the F-bomb. Little use of profanity is, in my opinion, a trap that some people use thinking it adds realism. I think I'm more of the opposite, because my ADD either has all the things and some decent wording or nothing. We're all different. Someone might line up with me, someone might not. But the people that do, hopefully this helps. Some people that don't, maybe they can open their eyes up to a broader point of view. I would scale back the cursing. Yeah, it's just my personal mood and attitude slipping into the piece. I trapped there because this was an emotive piece for me. Like I said before, it kind of just slipped in without me thinking it, because that's what was my headspace at the time. Outside of exclaiming F when he dropped the phone in the water, I felt the use of profanity jarring and out of place. I certainly wouldn't use it as a narrative or descriptive language. Keep that neutral. Yeah, the voice, the narrative voice of this one was pretty bad, and it does need to be fixed. So I will definitely be working on that, because it's a bit too extreme for the tone that the story goes into, and I feel like there'll be a narrative shift come chapter 2, 3, 4, and the tone of voice in the first chapter does not line up with the rest of it. If this is your first go at this, I felt you did a pretty good job. It's not my first go at writing, but it's my first go at this particular story and this tone and this concept and theme and setting, etc. So yeah, thank you once again. That was all the YouTube critiques. So yeah, I mean, look, guys, I got through it. I'm alive. None of it was that bad. It was all very fair. So I don't know if that's a credit to everyone who listened and read and left the comments on the YouTube. There are some comments over on Minds, which I'll pull over in a second. But yeah, like, not bad at all. Like, I'm alive. Nothing so bad. I mean, I'm humble. Some people might disagree, but when you know me, I know enough about myself and my ability to know my weak and strong points, and so I don't have a big enough ego to think that I'm a perfect author who doesn't make mistakes. And everything in here was, you guys took the time to leave these comments, which meant it was important enough for you to do so. In which case, you have to respect that. Where's the rest of the story? It's coming. It's coming. I don't know, like, John, here's the thing. I could write the rest of this privately and just release it when it's done. Or put it out to beta readers to do the whole thing. Or would you guys prefer if I do it kind of like this, where every now and then I just put when the next chapter is there, I just put the next chapter on the channel for you guys to critique as well. And we kind of build the story together using your live critiques. What do you guys think? I mean, it's a tall ask, but that's definitely something I could do. Is I could upload each chapter and just ask for critique and just build, like, write this book live in a weird way, like where you guys are watching me build a story from scratch. You're just here for vibes. I'm a vibe, Rachel. Yeah, but let me know what you guys think. Would that be something interesting or fun? I mean, a book is a very, like, it's a, like, books aren't. It's not going to be a short book, and so it might get exhausting to be constantly going over and critiquing it, and it'll ruin the surprise of reading the finished result because everyone knows everything about it. But in the same way, it would be interesting because you guys get to see how the book changes. But some people might just not care. They might, like, I mean, I don't really care what other people think in that regard, but if this is ever going to be something I put out there, a lot of people might just go, what's the point of reading this if I've watched all the videos and know the story despite how much it's changed? So I don't know. That's just, yeah, this is live and this is how my head works. But definitely let me know. Alright, we are going to move over to Minds. I have a couple comments on there. Minds is a social networking website. It is a cesspit of disgusting, gross things, and like, it's a really just, I don't know. There's a community there, and it's nice, but the overall of Minds is rough. So this is no way an endorsement or not. It's the social networking platform I use for my own personal reasons, but it's not for everyone. But yeah, we'll move over to Minds and we'll have a look at some of the critiques there. I got two. So we're just going to have a look at those now. Let me just do the thing in OBS. Mine's is like the sanatorium of Twitter. Minds. It's basically like, it's a social, what, yeah, more? Hope some of these are more dramatic. Do they call you names? No, everyone was actually really nice to me, Grant. The Insane Asylum of Facebook. Yeah, pretty much. Sorry, there was actually no, like, really bad critique. Which I don't know whether I should get big-headed about that and be like, that just means I'm on the right track. Or if people were just being polite. But, yeah, I was hoping, there's a lot of people who had an opportunity to really drag me through the mud with that video, and, like, I was kind of baiting for that, and no one took the bait, so it is what it is, Grant. Unfortunately. Alright. Minds. So I posted the story here and asked for critique, and I got the first one from Usagi. Well, not it technically the second one, but whatever. Usagi, who you know, my dear, who I worked with my comic, great artist, great author. Do check her out. She said, "I think descriptions were generally good. Yay. We have a good sense of what Tom is feeling. Good. And how gross his job is, contributing to how he feels. Yes. There are numerous misspellings. Yes, there are. Once again, that's just something that happens when you write. Especially when, like, the way that I write is I kind of, it's like an autopilot for me. I'm visualizing in my head, almost like it's like I've been teleported like a fly on the wall, and I'm just jotting down what I see, if that makes sense. I get very immersed when I write, to the point where I lose track of time, and yeah, it's just one of those things. It's like being in virtual reality. Like, when I write, I just like, and I'm like in this other world. There's positives and negatives to that. The negatives would be that it's very hard for me to get in the mood to write, if that makes sense, because I have to be in a mindset. If I'm distracted, if there's things going on in the back, I can't do it. I'm one of those, like, there are some writers who have like a writing room that no one else is allowed in, and they, got to do all this prep. That's me. I never understood it when I was younger, but as I get older, that's definitely me, and I get that. There is also at least one glaring tell don't show when you say Tom Hader. Yeah, definitely. Definitely that is that was a tell don't show for sure. That much was clear from everything else true, so it can be jettisoned without losing anything overall. Well done. Thank you, Usagi. I agree with everything you said. That's perfect. And then we have Isometric Dreams, who said, having worked kitchen jobs, the first bit really caught me. Few repetitive words in sentences, but very tactile descriptions. Once you mentioned his dead social life, it was just guessing who had died. Perfect. Perhaps have him mentally wrestling with things his father said, so the father is more of a character. I think that way the audience can imagine the emotions he'd be wrestling with upon hearing the news, now that we know a bit of his relationship with his family. This was a great idea. Free feedback. Exactly. Yeah, exactly right, Grant. That was part of the point as well. Monetize the haters. That's been thrown around a lot recently in communities. But no, I mean, why not? I didn't hold a gun to anyone's head and say they had to give me feedback. I put a video out there and people chose to watch it and people chose to leave feedback. There are websites where people pay for that. Why not? I see no problem with what I did. It was effective. With regards to Isometric Dreams, the thing with the father is, I hope this makes sense. This is one of the things where, like, I get where you're coming from if this was a sole piece of work and this was the only, like, piece of work, but because this is part of a bigger story, you don't want to show all your cards too soon. And are you off, John? If so, thanks for stepping by. I appreciate it, and I'll see you around. Have a great evening. The thing with this, Matthew, as you say, tell me why I'm wrong. Yeah, exactly right. Come at me. All you're doing is feeding the algorithm in my favor. Positive or negative doesn't matter. So yeah, the thing with this one, Isometric Dreams, is that I'd be showing too many of my cards too soon. That relationship and those sort of little packages, those parcels, need to sort of open themselves up as the story goes on to create more context and build out and yeah, you want that slow reveal there. If I revealed it, if this is a solo piece, I'd agree with you, but I don't believe that would work for this piece. Oh, you have a YouTube channel now? Perfect. DM it to me. I'll subscribe. So, yeah, that's kind of one of those things where I can see where you're coming from, but respectfully, I disagree. It would weaken the story overall. Am I right or wrong? We'll find out when this piece is done. I'm juggling a lot of writing. Who isn't? And it all comes down to what I believe, like what I believe takes priority, and this did not take priority at this point in time. But like this took priority at that point in time. So this is a story that I'll be writing when I'm not feeling good. I don't mean that like I'm not trying to get attention. But that's I have to be in certain mindsets to write certain stories, and this mindset helps me get through those moments in my current life. And so that's when I'll be writing more of this one. I have other stories with other emotions sort of linked to them that I write when I'm feeling in those ways. But that was all of the critique. So we'll put my mug back on screen. Yeah, I just, once again, I want to thank everyone who provided the feedback. That's the sole point of this live stream done. I just really couldn't be bothered editing. I didn't want to edit a video. So at this point, I don't even know how many people are watching, but I'll open the floor up to you guys. So, um, questions, critique, anything relating to this, or anything else you want to know about me, what I've been working on, what I've been doing. Um, this is your opportunity. I know there's a delay on the chat, but I'm not expecting much either. In Australia, why isn't the picture upside down? I flipped it for you. It's, yeah. Who's your daddy? Who's your daddy and what does he do? Um, can't answer that, unfortunately. Can't answer that. But yeah, Grant, I flipped the image for you. All Australians just know to do it instinctually, otherwise people get confused. No, 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 no. I gotcha. I got you back. Man, that was easier than I thought it would be. I was expecting at least someone to be no one that commented, but there were people who had the opportunity to drag me through the mud with that, and no one did. And it goes to really. Oh, did you ever get an artist for that comic? All right. What is the genre I'm most interested in writing? I like to write. Um, I don't know the words for it. Um, like, look, I'm a nerd. Fantasy novels are what I'd love to be writing more of, but they take a lot of energy out of me. My fantasy prose is very like flowery and purple and like, and I fall into my own trap of critiquing myself too much when I write them, because I read a ton of fantasy and I have a very high standard out of respect for that genre, and I don't want to contribute to lowering that standard. So it's a hard one for me. I wish I could write more of that. Overall, drama and tragedy is in everything that I do, in one way or another, because it's just such a cool like it's such a quintessential part of who I am, and my life experience is tragedy and drama, that it's with me everywhere I go, and so that seeps into everything. Yeah, Herman, you probably get it. Like the author voice changes. So like when I'm writing my superhero comic, um, I don't have to be as flowery, um, and I don't have to sort of do that, but I have to be like that takes a different skill set and a different sort of like personality in my head, so to speak, to write that. And when I write like detective-y stuff, um, yeah, and when I write romance, like these take different voices and different prose and different skills to write, and so I love them all, and I wish I could write all of them. Um, yeah. Um, Rachel, in regards to the comic, it's too expensive. Um, like you guys, I don't know how people do it, and this is why I want to ask you about the crowdfunding side of things as well, because like I, it's gonna cost me like $50,000. It's like before I like that's not making money on it. That's covering the cost of an artist, right? And that's just art. Like I still need, um, I would still need a letter art. Like I could try it myself, but if we're talking, like, once again, I don't want to contribute to lowering the quality standard of an industry I care about. Other creators out there like Eric July might be okay with doing that for money. I'm not. Um, and so that's the hardest thing, is I'm not willing to compromise, and I really am trying to make this the best that it can be. And when it comes to writing a comic, there's a lot of, how to explain, every single page, I write for this comic or any comic, I know that that's a couple $100 to get made once you do pencils, lines, color, lettering, like, it's like $200. So when I'm writing a comic and I'm seeing that I've written 20 pages, well, do the math, right? So I have to try and find a way to tell the story I want to tell while sticking within a budget which restricts how many pages I can write, which restricts how I can write, and I have to nix a lot of things that I would like to keep in. I can't just like rip-averse it, have some silent investors give me a stack of cash, and pay people to do that. I have to be like, hey, every single letter I put down on this page has a cost to it, and I have to factor in whether that's worth it, considering like I'm on the verge of bankruptcy. Like, I don't have money. Uh, so it's like, how do I get that made? And I could turn around and say, well, let's Kickstarter it, let's Indiegogo it, let's fund my comic it. But I still need a proof of concept. I need at least sort of 5-6 pages, and I need a trailer, and I need all this stuff done. And that's still thousands of dollars on something that might not get funded at all. And so I don't know what I'm going to do with that. Yeah, I do not know what I am going to do with that, to be completely honest with you guys. Um, I wish I had an answer for you there. Um, like, I wish I had a solution. Because here's the thing. That comic is incredible. And I know people like, oh, toot your own horn. I've had industry professionals not only tell me that, but I've had one of them, and take this with a tablespoon of salt, where I could safely say they even took from it into and used my comic in their very well-known comic. Um, you know, um, so I know it's a good comic. I know that. Um, I'm just popping an image on screen of a piece of art I did have commissioned, of my main character for you guys to see. Like, I know I've got something good there, and I just know if it was made to this is my like quality standard for art, and if it was made to my standard and I had the capital to sort of do that up front, I know it, like, the people that read it will like it. But what I can't control is getting it out there, marketing, advertising, etc. Because look, there's like 5 people watching this stream at its peak. You know what I mean? Like, I don't have 500,000 people ready and waiting, and I don't know anyone who does, who can sort of help get the word out. And I'm not willing to sell my soul to do that. That's just not who I am. So I need to figure that out. And I don't know what's going to happen. South American comic? Which one? I love comics. So yeah, it is what it is. Oh, and shout out to Chromasis Art for doing this commission, by the way. He did, he or she, I don't know, don't care, it's the internet, did an amazing job on it. Amazing job. Do you guys want to see other images from the work in progress that was? I'm sorry, I don't know what that one is. Like, look at this panel that Usagi drew. Like, look how good that looks. Um, it's like the mood is great. Like, I'm stretching it and all sorts now, but like the rain, the mood, the lighting. Like, look how much care was put into this. The gargoyle shadow here. Like, look at this. It's so good. It's so good. And yet, at this point in my life, it's probably like this comic's probably never going to see the light of day. Like that's the reality of it. Um, like this was an entire like unfinished page, so to speak. Obviously the art's not final, like it's not done, but look how cool that is. Look at that. We have the gargoyle shooting for the double leg, and then grabbing the bat and smacking this guy across the face with it. Yeah, looking over the shoulder, smacking this guy. Like, look how cool that is. Look at how well that flows. Um, it's not perfect. You know, maybe this, instead of being over the shoulder, we need to show this guy sort of approaching from the back. Maybe we need to put a shadow of him here, you know, but it's unfinished. That's the point. This was never finished. And this was just, you know, me and Usagi, who's not a professional artist. She's a great artist, but not a professional artist, like grinding our butts off to get this done. We're talking, we would be in calls for 12 hours sometimes, like just getting this stuff done and trying our best. And it'll probably never see the light of day. Hey, Wally Ram, how are you? So, yeah, like, it just is what it is, unfortunately. And now that someone else has sort of taken my first couple of pages, I mean, look, I can't say that they did for certain, but now that there's another really popular comic out there that bears a striking resemblance to mine, like I'm gonna have to deal with that as well if it ever does get made. A lot of people might put the two and two together there. And what am I meant to do with that? You know? What am I meant to do about that? At work pretending to be worth my wages. You're worth more than your wage. I promise you that. What's up? We just did a little live critique thing. I don't know. 'Cause my apologies. Like, the name doesn't ring any bells in my comments, etc. But a couple weeks ago, I put out a very early rough piece of work. A bunch of my lovely subscribers and friends and colleagues have. I don't know what to call you guys. Calling you subscribers feels rude. Thanks for coming and stopping by, Herman. I appreciate it, and I'll see you around. Yeah, like I don't know, calling you guys subscribers feels like I'm diminishing you guys. Like and share. Yes, please. Appreciate you all. Yeah, we need a better word for that. Um, yeah, so we just went through all that, and now we're just doing a quick little Q&A sesh. If you have any questions for me, this is where I'll answer them wholeheartedly. Think about any of my other works. I'm going to get this out to at least half an hour. So we've got about, 13 more minutes. But, is that how long? I don't know. How long has it been? Oh no, it's nearly been an hour. Perfect. That's what I mean about time. It just escapes me. Just here for the free coffee. Yeah, have it all. I don't drink coffee. Never have. It's good. Yeah, to me, it has no real benefit. And it smells terrible. So yeah, have all the coffee you want because I don't need it. I'll stick with water. Yeah. Do you guys have any other questions for me? Is there anything you want to see me do in the future? Any comic books you want to see me review? I wanted to do a thing where I like went through and like I've done the whole like my really crummy how to build a comic book like on a budget videos. I'd like to revisit those and really go into like into the depths of it. But other than that, I don't know. It's the first time in months I've seen anything from you. Have you been on a break or did you guys out? Nah, buddy. I've not. I've. A break's the wrong word to put. I've gone through some hardships, and things are tough in meat space right now, and so unfortunately, I haven't had the motivation, haven't been in the right mindset, haven't been in the right emotional space to consistently make videos, and so my output slowed down a lot. And the thing is, I could make a video, woe was me, being a victim, but it's not who I am. I could whinge and moan online about it, but it's not who I am. I think it's really insincere when people make those kind of videos because you have to understand not only did they script it and edit it and then go through the upload process, like how does that authentically happen? These sort of like videos like that, it just feels so disingenuous and so manufactured when you put it in a video and cut it and edit it. Like there's an intent there, and I'll never have that intent. Yeah, Clown World is clownier. Yeah, I'll never have that intent. It's not who I am. You know, I don't believe that you can accidentally upload a YouTube video. It takes so much effort to put these things together that it's just insane to me when people get blowback and are like, oh, how could this have happened? It was a mistake. Like, no, it wasn't. You thought, it was a good idea and it turned out to be a bad idea, and then they go on damage control and try and justify it instead of just going, well, that was a bad idea. So I don't know. I'm rambling. I do hope to start getting more consistent, but I was also hoping on a lot of things in real life to balance out, and they haven't yet. And so I jumped the gun. But I'm a fighter. I'll keep on fighting. And yeah. But thank you for sticking around, and thank you for checking in on me, and hopefully you continue to watch and support my videos, because that makes me happy, and I hope you're doing great as well, and yeah, I hope everything's good for you. Yeah, that's me right there. I took your calculator risk, but man, am I bad at math. That's exactly right. I cannot into math. um, so yeah, I do videos on writing advice of things outside of novels and get your point of view. I mean, if you have any examples of that, by all means. I The thing is, I'm a pretty open book. Like, there's not much I disagree with. Like, it's like this stuff shouldn't be so hard, and this is why it's hard for me to make videos on certain things. Like I won't talk about DC Comics anymore because I just feel like I'm a strong believer in any publicity is good publicity, and the people at Drama Farm, like, they're contributing to the problem, and I don't want to contribute to that. Um, so that's why, like, I don't just like I could make a video every 2 days being like, look at what mainstream media's done today, like another horrible thing. But all I'm doing is giving them free promotion, and it doesn't feel right in my soul, and so I don't do that. Yeah, but I could do some stuff so long as it meshes well with me. Like, I could have done like Shadversity videos, and I could have done like Rippaverse stuff, and and I'm sure I would have, like, my channel would have popped up for it. But that's not who I am. All right, and like, nobody should get upset about that because I'm not saying other people can't do it. It's just not who I am. And so if other people want to do those videos, cool. More power to you. I won't. That's not anything. That's not me denigrating anyone, because a lot of people think I'm attacking them because I'm not doing the same thing they are or wouldn't. But some people eat Vegemite and others don't. Some people eat meat, others don't. Doesn't mean anything. Um, yeah. Oh, RH farming, if not lucrative, reliable. Yeah, exactly right. And I can't do it. I wish I could do it. I wish I could do it. I really do. Um, I wish I could. I want to do interviews, actually. I want to interview a few people. I want to start, like, that's something I can do. I want to help people promote their works, etc. This table I'm sitting at, there's an entire set to this. It's not just this. Like, this is all you guys have seen so far, but I'll just show you a little picture here. Look at that. Look at that. I'm all big now. Look. Let me. No, you can. I've exposed myself. But look, guys. I have a whole set. Where I can have a guest sitting here. S.D. Hudson's fantasy romance author interviews. I don't know who that is. I don't know any of their works. I'll take a peek and see, like, if it's something that vibes with me. But look, I can interview people, guys. I'm coming up close for yous, and I can interview people on this chair. Grant, I'm not actually a novel writer. I'm a comic writer. I write novels because I can't afford to write comics. It's a skill set that I don't necessarily have as good. Like, I'm much better at writing comics. Your first stop in the interviews, that's awesome. So yeah, like, I've been working on my novel writing ability. It's time for you to ascend and become a... No. I'm not a VTuber and never will be a VTuber. That's not something I'm interested in being. What I want is, like, I can animate myself. I have the ability to do so. Like, I can change my facial expressions. I can give you a thumbs up. I can disappear. And what I want to do is I want to expand on this flat cell animation style. And actually create, like, a cartoon that can react in real time, if that makes sense. It's hard to explain, but yeah, if you're an animator and you want to help, because I can't afford to pay you, by all means, like, that would be great. But yeah, let's go back to the big screen, hey? Yeah. So, I mean, yeah, not gonna be a VTuber. Um, it's not who I am. I don't like the look of VTubers. Like it's all just live 2D and it's all very static. And yeah, they're like the technology's growing immensely and they can do some cool stuff. But I'm chasing something slightly different. Um, that's much harder because there is no technology for it, so to speak. Um, like I want to be able to, like I want to be able to take animated clips, like animations of me doing things, and be able to hit a macro. You wish to embrace it. Yeah, 2D traditional animation. Um, and I want to be able to hit a macro and have that thing sort of play on screen and make it look like I'm actually live walking around. Like I would love it if I could lift my feet up right now and put them on the chair, or like and do things like that. So I'm stuck with static images for now because I can't afford an animator, and I can't draw or animate. But in time, man, in time, who knows? That's the goal. That's the goal with this. So hope you guys come with me on this ride. Look, guys, it's been well and truly over an hour. So I'm happy to call it whenever. If you guys want more, ask away. I'm going to give it 4 more minutes on my end, and then I'll close out. I just got those, Rachel. 2D tubing. So there's this thing called PNG tubing that's kind of like that. It's like what I'm doing now, where they take sort of static images and there's software that can make it bounce and hover and stuff like that. So that is definitely a real thing. But once again, that's sort of like that's like the entry level to what I want to do. But I want to do something slightly above that. Do you have time to play any Vigilator? Yeah, I played a bit. There's not a lot out that I enjoy. Like, I was really hoping on Baldur's Gate 3. Like, as a fantasy fan, as someone who reads so much fantasy, played Baldur's Gate 1 and 2, Icewind Dale, Pools of Radiance, all those sorts of games growing up, and who's just a big nerd. I was really hoping on Baldur's Gate 3 to be good, and it turns out it was the worst game to come out in a very long time. So that sucked. I no surprise to anyone, I played the Avatar game because I love that James Cameron's Avatar. Like I love that franchise. It's okay. There's a lot I disagree with about it, and it is very much like they've got two. Gotta love the delay there. Yeah, like I did play the Avatar game, but it's literally just they've got 3 different base designs, copy pasted all around the map, and you just do the same thing over and over. So it's hard. It gets boring pretty quick, which sucks because they've crafted an incredible world and the graphics are amazing, but they cheaped out on the gameplay, unfortunately. I'm still playing Cyberpunk. Rather dull and easy. Yeah, it is very easy. Yeah. So yeah, I haven't really actually played as much as I thought I had been. Just Avatar and Baldur's Gate sucked. I want VR, but I can't afford it. I'd love to get into VR gaming. I think that's like this. That's where gaming needs to go, like it or not. People like. There's only so many times you can hold F on a cupboard and have a little like +1 battery pop up on your screen and things like that. Yeah, maybe the way of water says I'll put more into a game. If you don't mind bugs and like Warhammer. So I don't like 40k. I like fantasy Warhammer. 40k is not my vibe. I've never really been able to get into it. I don't know why. It's just like the setting and the way it looks has just never really worked for me. I do like the Tau. If I were to be a 40k player, like Tau would probably be the way I'd go. but I much prefer, like, if I'm gonna play like a sci-fi tabletop game, I'd much rather play like Corvus Belli's Infinity than 40k. That's just who I am. Rachel, this game was made in conjunction with the Way of Water, so it's like actually upsetting that there is no Way of Water like in the game. Like, there's no water content at all. Um, it's set between the first and second movie. Um, but yeah, there are, like, they have teased like it's a live service kind of game, in a weird way. So there's expansions coming out or DLC coming out, and who knows where that goes. Maybe they'll add it in the future and expand upon the map. But as of right this moment, um, yeah, it's like it would be fun to play in co-op with a friend, and definitely like buy it on sale if you just want some shooting fun. But yeah, yeah. So Wally, like that's the interesting thing about VR, right? Um, the technology needs to get better, but it won't get better unless people early adopt. And I don't know where it's at right now, but it seems to have stagnated. Um, I think VR gaming is going to be hugely popular in the entertainment space. I think what people are going to start shifting to is getting VR headsets in arcades attached to cinemas, where a lot of the arcade style games, like, if you think about it, they haven't really changed since before I was even born, to be honest with you. It's always been the same kind of games at arcades. And they've sort of died and come back and died and come back. And I feel like the arcade scene could be revitalized with VR. Like, you go and see the latest, I don't know, Top Gun movie, and there's a VR headset, in the cinema that does like a Top Gun VR experience where you fly a jet, and that you can do after or before the movie while you're waiting with friends for 5-6 minutes, for a gold coin donation sort of thing. I think that's where VR is going to go, and then hopefully it grows from there. I don't see it growing too much in the consumer space, but I want it to grow in the consumer space. Um, it's very hard. Everyone's heads are different, and everyone has different tolerances for things. And some people get motion sickness and seasickness and things like that. I don't get any of those issues. Um, so like the few times I've used VR, um, at like VR arcades and stuff like that, I feel like it was a cool experience. But like, you see people like Half Life Alex is a great example where, like, you're scrounging for ammunition, and in most traditional games, you walk up to a dead guy, press E, da-dung, plus 20 bullets or whatever. Or you walk up to a cupboard, press E, da-dung, 20 bullets. Um, in VR, you get that added level of complexity. Um, oh, yeah, it does. But in VR, you have that added level of complexity where you don't just walk up to a dead body and press E and get ammunition. You walk up to a dead body, you actually have to, like, put your hands in the pockets and rummage around and flip them over, and you know what I mean, like things like that. Like, there's that level of interactivity that you just cannot do with a keyboard, mouse, or controller because of how clunky it would feel, and how much, but in VR, because there's that immersion and you're doing it with your own hands, etc. Like, that's you know that's where I think the only logical evolution for video games is. Because if you have a look from PS2 right up until now, video games haven't really changed. Like, in terms of like the core of what makes a video game. Like, first person shooters haven't changed. The graphics have changed, but the actual gameplay hasn't. Um, the concepts have changed. Like, hero shooters, like, we went from arena shooters to like Call of Duties to hero shooters, but the way that you play them hasn't changed. You can pick up a controller and play any first person shooter, and all the controls are the same. All the mechanics aren't really that different from each other. Um, and VR, I feel like, is the only logical way to change that, to grow that. Um, it's for me, it's the only logical step forward to actually grow video games. Like, Baldur's Gate 3 doesn't play any differently to Divinity, which doesn't really play that differently to traditional Baldur's Gate, other than the graphics and things like Pillars of Eternity. Other than graphics, um, it's still like, you know, click here to move and all that. Imagine Baldur's Gate in VR, first person, you know, where you actually, yeah, imagine that, because the world is crafted brilliantly. Um, and you can take your time. Like, they can still do the turn-based combat in VR, but, you know, you can take your time to actually look around and explore and talk to people. I don't know. I'm rambling. Exactly right. They are. They are, Wally. Like that. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. It's about making things easier. It's the same in every entertainment space. If you look at movies right now, like look at the lighting in the first Jurassic Park compared to the new ones. Like, you know, we've gone through this trend where everything needs to be neutral and naturalistic, and we're losing the art of things. Um, yeah, the yeah, that's what I'll say about that. The sort of artistic side of things is being replaced for convenience, well, or with convenience, and it's, you know, these games aren't being made by creative people anymore. They're being made by businessmen and shareholders, and so you're going to see that de-evolution of them as they want the largest common denominator to play them, and that's a shame. In which case, with Baldur's Gate 3, I mean, sex sells, right? Like, who needs to care about the blue filter and now there's the yellow filter? Yeah, look, I can't put pictures in the chat, but if you actually have a look at, like, Jurassic Park 1's lighting, like, back in the day, people understood that like lighting wasn't supposed to be realistic. It was supposed to set a mood, like set mood and tone. Um, so I'm just going to give you a quick example of what I'm saying in the Discord. Um, so if you have a look at Jurassic Park 1 compared to the newer Jurassic Parks, um, you know, there's this giant spotlight um, on set, um, you know, with this blue light all around it. And I mean, and it creates this mood, right? And then you have a look at what they're doing with the new Jurassic Park, and it's this naturalistic lighting with the sort of blue filter over the top. Um, and there's no mood when I look at it. Like, it's very, like, it's not bad. But yeah, Grant, thanks for sticking by. I'll be wrapping up anyway soon. But I appreciate you sticking around. I really do, and I hope to see you in the comments of more videos. Yeah. Yeah. So I mean, you know, that's movies, isn't it? Wally, I agree with you 100%. I forced myself to get through it, um, just so that I could say that I did get through the whole thing. Um, but it was not easy. It was not easy to sit through. I felt disrespected as a fan of this franchise by the people that did that one. Thanks for sticking by, Wally. I appreciate you. I do. Um, all right. Well, look, I'm gonna wrap it up. It's, you know, this went on longer than I planned it for. I was literally doing this because I was too lazy to edit a video. But don't be a stranger, everyone. Hit me up, leave comments, do whatever you want to do. Like, I can't make you do any of this, but I actually do care about some of you. Um, no, like I appreciate the effort it takes, and the time that people sacrifice to watch videos like this, and so I want to make sure you guys know that. You know, I'm not just saying that. So thank you everyone for sticking around. Hit me up. You know, don't be a stranger. um, and just know that positive or negative, you agree or disagree with anything I've said or done, I still appreciate you taking the time to interact, as it means you care. And yeah, so yeah, a great day, a great evening. Drink plenty of water. You guys know the drill. And I'll see you around. Thanks again. Ashen, I feel bad now. Alright, I'm going to give you a couple of minutes. How are you? You took the time. I'll take the time. You deserve cancels? Yeah, I do. I really do. Go on, let me have it, buddy. Oh, I completely forgot. At 500 subs, I'm gonna make. Oh, I'm making it. I have not seen Godzilla yet. I would love to see it. I yeah. I assume we're talking about -1, in which case I'm very excited to see it. It's on my list of things to see. I haven't had the opportunity yet, but I will be watching that one. I'm excited for it. I will be making a gilded server. I mean, I've made one. I'll be making it public once I hit around 500. I'll probably just make it public once it's ready, to be honest with you guys. 500 is arbitrary, but I figured if it gets me some more subscribers and gets me towards some kind of monetization and can make my life better, then why not do that? And so, yeah, if you guys do want to interact with me one-on-one, let's spread the word, let's subscribe, let's like videos, etc., and help me out there, because yeah, when we can interact more, we can chat more one-on-ones, and yeah, hopefully build a community of people who aren't afraid to think outside the box and care about creativity and health, and can help each other out. That's what I want to do. Have you seen Godzilla, and did you enjoy it? Ash and I've never had Twitter. Yeah, yeah, that's interesting. Yeah. Well, look, buddy. I am going to wrap this up. But I wanted you to obviously I wanted to at least acknowledge and give you some time. Um, so thanks for coming in. Thanks for sticking around. And I'm still here on the YouTube. On Minds. I don't like that's not an endorsement of Minds, believe it or not. But that is what I use because you can do whatever you want there. Like you're not going to get banned or anything like that. And I just feel like other social medias have way too many rules and stipulations, and it's impossible to it's impossible to um, it's impossible to just know what's going to get you in trouble and what isn't, and the algorithms are too manipulative that I don't have good faith in them. Mine seems to just not care about anything, which is a positive and a negative. But if you're able to drown out all the negative, there's a decent little community there. All right. Well, thanks everyone again. Um, I'm still around. It's only 10 a.m. for me, so I'll be around to chat a little longer, but I am going to close out the video. Um, exactly right, Rachel. Um, yeah, I'll see you around. Don't be strangers. See you in the next video. Bye.